Ladies and gentlemen, so we're solving for a system of equations by graphing again over here. So that means, again, when you're graphing, you can either end up with two lines, okay, where the two lines are going to meet somewhere, and that'll be your solution. Or, so that's one case. The other case is that the two lines can be parallel and they will never touch each other. So that means you have a no solution case. Or you can also have a case where one line is on top of the other one. So one line yield the other one. And that one we call it infinite number of solutions. Because remember, we're dealing with two equations with two variables, two unknowns, x and y. So let's try it in this case and see what we're going to end up with. Let's go. So equation one here. And then we have equation two. So we named them. All right, equation one, equation two. So for equation one and equation two, so how are we going to proceed? Because remember something, we want to have y equals to mx plus b. Okay? We want to have this kind of format, which is the slope-interceptor form. Slope-interceptor form. So that's what we want. So if we take equation one very quickly here, so equation one, which is 2x plus 3y equals to 6. So that means we want to have y by itself. If we want to have y by itself, what do we need to cancel first? The 2x gotta go, right? So we have negative 2x, negative 2x. This is out. Then we end up with 3y equals to negative 2x plus 6. All right? And then once we have that now, remember, what are we solving for? Y. So we can just divide everybody by 3. And then we end up with y equals to what? Negative 2 over 3x plus 6 divided by 3 is going to give us what? 2. We good? So that means we have a slope m, which is negative 2/3. So slope is always the number right in front of the x. All right? So that'll be the slope. And then the y-intercept b always has x as a 0. And then the next number to it is 2, which is the y value. So from those two elements now, we can draw the line. Are we good so far? Let's go. All right. So the first point always is the y-intercept. Because remember, to draw a line, we need multiple, at least 2 points. In this case, we're only going to need 2. So 0, 2. So you have 0 for x, 2 for y. So that's your first point. Okay? Now your second point is going to come from this one, the slope, but we're going to start from the first point. And then again for the slope, the top number is a y value. And the bottom number is what? An x value. So that means depends on where we are. So positive 2 then, so this one is negative 2, so it's also a negative number. So because that's a negative number, that's a y value. So we got to go down twice. So 1, 2. And then we have to go over positive 3 times. 1, 2, 3. This will be our second point. Let's do it one more time. So we're going from the y-intercept, which is 0, 2. So that's 1, 2. That's the first point. The second point, we're going to go from the first point. And then going from the first point by using what? The slope. And the slope has two values, always, as a fraction. The top number is your y value. The bottom number is your x value. So we're going to go, then because this one is negative 2, so the y value is always on the y-axis. And the x value, which is 3, is always on the horizontal line x-axis. Okay? So let's go for it. So we're going to go from positive 2. So we have 1, 2 down because that's negative 2. And then 1, 2, 3 over to the right side because that's a x-axis. So that's how we get the second point. And now from there we can draw our line, right? So let's go for it. We have to be accurate. Okay. So this one now is getting a bit, going to be out of the line. So, okay, so this one is equation 1. So this one is, you can continue all the way. All right? So that's equation 1. Let's be clean, okay? Let's be clean with it. So this one is equation 1. So for equation 2 now, what's happening? For equation 2, so I'm going here for equation 2. So for equation 2, which is 2x plus y equals to negative 2. Again, we need this format. That's a slope-interceptor form. So that means we need to leave y by itself. So that means negative 2x both sides. And then what's going to happen? Y equals to what? Negative 2x minus 2. Okay? Because remember, we cannot add or subtract these two. So are we done here? Yes. So the slope in this case is equal to what? Negative 2 over 1. So that's the reason why we were saying before that the slope is always like a fraction. You represent it as a fraction because it's always the difference of y values over the difference of x values. Yeah? So what's happening here is m equals to negative 2 over 1. And then what's going to happen? B then is going to be what? 0 for x. X is always, 0 there. And then y is what? So y is negative 2. Okay? So x is 0 and y is negative 2. This negative 2. Not this one, but this one. Always. The b. It's that value. Okay? So let's go for it also. So we can draw our line from here, from those two elements. So b, y-intercept is what? 0, negative 2. First point. Okay? And then we're going to get the second point from here, but by using what? The slope. So again, the y value here is what? Is negative 2. Okay? On top, so we got to go down 2 times again. All right? So from here, 1, 2. You always come from the first point. So you go 1, 2, and now this is not your point yet. Careful. It's 1, 2, and then we got to go over 1 time to the right side because that's positive 1. So is negative 2 is what? 1, 2, and then 1. And this is our second point. Again, b 0, negative 2, 0, negative 2, that's the first point. And then to get second point, we go 1, 2, and then 1. So we go over 1. So this one is cleaned up, so everything is squeaky clean. All right? So now we can draw the second line, okay, which is here. Okay? So that's the second one here. All right, so our second point, our second line, let's make it a little better down here, this one here, okay, so that we are sure about what we're doing, okay? Okay, so we have our second line going this way, okay? So what's happening is that if you look at it, this is negative 3, and this is positive 4. So that's where both of them connect or meet. And as both of them meet there, this will be your solution. So our solution here is negative 3, positive 4. That's why those two connect. All right? So next time we're going to do better job at the lines, okay? So this is for equation 1, and then this is for equation 2. And our solution is negative 3 over 4. So you can always check your solution. And how do you check your solution? Is to take negative 3 and 4 and substitute them in equation 1 and equation 2. You got to do it in both. And whenever it's going to check out to give you a true statement for both of them, then your solution is good. All right? Or we can even do it very quickly here. All right, let's go. So for equation 1, we can do it for at least one of the equations. And then you guys are going to try later on for the other one. So for equation 1 is 2x plus 3y equals to 6, correct? So it's going to be 2 times, what is x? Negative 3 plus 3 times y, which is what, 4? This is equal to 6. So 2 times negative 3 is negative 6 plus 3 times 4 is positive 12 equals to 6. What is negative 6 plus 12? Is positive 6. 6 equals to 6. This is a true statement. That's what I was talking about, true statement. So that means for equation 1, that is good. And you got to do the same thing for equation 2. So now you guys can try for equation 2 and tell us what you get. Okay? All right. Thank you.